Next level. We're kind of continuing on our next level series, and just going through the Sermon on the Mount and Jesus' longest documented teaching was from this time. And it's from Matthew 5, and we've gone through different things and about murder and divorce and sexual immorality and those different things. And what Jesus is doing is he's taking the teaching and the expected thoughts of the day, and he's kind of flipping it on its head, or he's actually asking us to go a little bit further. Because what he's talking to the Hebrews, the Israelites, and they were the best at creating rules and creating systems and making the rules more of their religion than the actual religion was. And so Jesus is coming in and he's telling them, it's not about the rule. It's about what's inside. It's about the why behind these rules. And so we've been working through this, and this week we're coming up on one I know I've read many, many times, but I'm going to tell you, I probably glossed over more times than not. And it's all about our speech, our tongue. And it comes from Matthew 5:33. And if you want to look that up, if you want to pull it out on your device, look it up on your Bible. Matthew 5:33 through 37. Could somebody tell me what is the title of that passage? Oaths. Does someone have another word for it? Does anyone have another word in the Bible? Vows. Does your thing say vows? Anyone have another one? Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Yeah. Some of them might be covenant. I've read it all the time, and it was an oath. How many of you have taken an oath recently? Really? Come on. Now, I know, like in the government and yeah, I know in government and in trials in the court, you do have to take an oath when you go on the stand and stuff. But in everyday life, oaths. What are oaths? We don't do those. We don't take those. It's not really a big thing for us in our society, in our culture. So let's read that real quick from Matthew. It says, Again, you have heard that it was said to the people long ago, do not break your oath, but fulfill to the Lord vows you have made. But I tell you, do not swear an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is God's throne, or by earth, for it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. And do not swear by your head, for you cannot make even one hair white or black. All you need to say is simply yes or no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. So me, living in this day and age, reading this, I'm like, well, okay, yes or no, that's great. What's an oath? But if you go back and you look at the Hebrews times, what in ancient Israel, what did they have? They had a society built on oaths, built on these vows. And not just something that people kind of made up in their heads. They were actually documented, written down, what you had to say in certain situations. So I went through and I kind of made a list, and these come from the Bible. They also come from the Talmud, which is the ancient history or the law of Jews. This is another book of theirs. These are some of the official documented oaths that they had to abide by and use, okay? The first one is the oath of Baileys. You know what that is? No idea. That's just kind of like, I own some property. I took it from you to hold it in safekeeping, okay? That was that one. There's another oath where the defendant admits part of the claim, like he's like, I have this property, but that part of it's mine, okay? So that's what they're saying there. Another one where the defendant denies the claim in whole, like, if he's being taken to court or something, he's like, I swear I didn't do it. It's not me. It wasn't mine. I didn't do it. This is an oath, an official oath that they had to take. Then there's the laborer's oath, the shopkeeper's oath, the landlord's oath, the injured oath, the bill holder's oath. This is my favorite one. This is the shifted oath. The shifted oath. You can take a stab at what that is? Adam Schiff. If you're a known liar and not very trustworthy, then you take this oath. okay? And then you're more believable. You're more believable because of that one, okay? And then this last one, I can't even pronounce it, so you can just read it yourself. I read the description, and it still didn't make sense to me of what it is. I have no idea, okay? This is not an exhaustive list. This is just an example. This is just some examples of what I wanted to show you. Some of the oaths that they use and live by, and like this is part of their society and culture. Like if you were doing any of these things, you had to take these types of oaths in their culture, okay? Here's where it gets fun, all right? These are the oaths. These are how these oaths were administered, okay? All right? Sometimes the oaths are taken by holding onto the scroll of the Torah in one hand and swearing by God in the other one. Okay, that was one way of doing it. Another way of doing it was you don't need to mention God, but you need to use one of his descriptive words, like the Almighty or All-Powerful. Okay, you say it that way. That's another way you took an oath. Let's see, an oath is taking standing up. You can take an oath standing up, or you can take it sitting down. It kind of depends on the oath. These are all official ways you do oaths. An oath is taken without holding the scroll and without mentioning God. So you can do it the other way too. The another way is you can take an oath and you can say like harm befall me. Like, if I don't do this, then an asteroid's going to fall and hit me on the head. A tree's going to fall down. A fence is going to blow in the wind and hit me in the head. Sorry, too soon. My bad. A fence is going to fall. The next one is, may Yahweh make you a curse. May God curse me if I don't do what I'm supposed to do in this oath. Here's another. It says, I also shook out the bosom of my garment and said, so may God shake out every man in his household from the fruit of his labor. These are official. This is official words and things that they had to say when they take their oaths. The wearer stakes something precious, on my brand new car. I promise I'll do this. Or, one of the examples they give is on the life of my head. Or the other example is by the gazelles and the hinds of the field. What does that mean? Apparently gazelles are valuable. So you will swear your oath by the gazelle. And another one, like I said, this is not an exhaustive list. Another one is raising a hand to God. Does that sound familiar? I swear to God, I saw it. The Bigfoot walked through my backyard. I swear. These are some things. This is not even getting into the weird stuff, okay? This is not even getting into the weird stuff. God even made a covenant with Moses. Do you remember the covenant and the vow and the oath that he took with Moses and what they did afterwards? Does any Bible scholars know? They took an animal, they split it in half, and they set it on either side, and they had to walk down the middle of it, with fire and everything. But that wasn't just like what they did. That was what they had to do with their oaths. They had to do those things to seal those oaths and make them, official. I mean, could you imagine you cut your goat in half and you're like, oh man, we needed a llama for this one. So sorry, what do we? But this is what we had to do. This is what they had to do. Now this is the last one. This is the last one. This is later in ancient times, but this is more Middle Ages. This is Middle Ages. But in Germany, in Middle Ages, if a Jew was to come to a Gentile or a Christian court to testify, okay, the Jew had to bring, this was Jewish rules. This wasn't Gentile rules. This is Jewish rules. To testify in court, the Jew had to bring an animal to court alive, slaughter it, skin it, and then when they testified, they had to stand on the skin of the animal barefooted in their underwear. And that's how they testified in court in the Middle Ages in Germany. It does seem reasonable. Actually, I was thinking we should probably bring that practice back. My whole point is, does this passage make more sense now? Let's read it again. Again, you have heard that it was said to people long ago, do not break your oath, but to fulfill to the Lord vows you have made. But I tell you, do not swear an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is God's throne, or by earth, for it is the footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Do not swear by your head, for you cannot make even one hair white or black. All you need to say simply is yes or no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. Yes or no? Yes or no? Why do we have to follow all these other rules? Why do we have to go through all these rituals and these steps? So what is Jesus telling us? It's about our heart. It's about our integrity. It's about our honesty. I don't need to wish curses on myself. I don't need to split an animal in half to say I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You know, but if we take that and sit there and say, like at the beginning, I mean, how many of you all taken oaths? Yes, you might in official capacities take an oath, but in everyday life, how many of you take oaths or vows or do these types of things? We don't. So this is kind of like, whoa, what's the point of it? But just like in Jesus' times, the point of it is our yes, yes, and is our no, no. You know, some modern examples, I'm going to tell you, I feel I am the funniest person alive. And that humor has taken some time to mature and develop. When I was younger, I remember I went to Sunday school. This was back in the day when no one had computers. We had a typewriter, and a friend of mine from Sunday school borrowed our typewriter. Okay? I went to Sunday school, got there, Cynthia said, "Hey, tell your mom thanks for letting me use your typewriter." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, thanks for breaking it." And I continue on my day and move on and go on. There was a funny joke, haha, great. Next day, I get home from school, I'm sitting upstairs, and I get the call downstairs. You know, Gary Edward Taylor, get down here now. And I get downstairs, and there's Cynthia with her mom with an envelope of cash to pay for the typewriter that I had said she broke, and I was just joking, and I forgot to say, "Oh, I'm just joking." How many coarse jokes do we think we make in a day, in a week? "Oh, we're just being funny. Oh, I'm just being sarcastic." I'm the worst offender on that. You know, what about our intentions? What are our intentions? You know, we might not bold-faced lie. I doubt anyone in here is just an outright liar. You know, but what about our intentions? There's a famous study. Are there any marketing students, marketing people here, people who study marketing? Yeah, really? Awesome. Have you heard of the McDonald's problem? Did they teach that in? No? Okay. Well, I read that they teach it still in marketing today, but maybe not. But so they study this phenomenon in marketing, and it's all about McDonald's. So McDonald's in the early 90s, they said, we want to expand our menu. We want to expand our menu. And so they said, well, how are we going to do that? Let's ask the people. Let's find out what they want. And so they go and they spend all the money and they do these surveys. And so people, of course, said, you know, we want a McPizza, we want a McTaco and everything. But the vast, overwhelming majority of what the people said they wanted was a healthy option. Overwhelming. Like, there wasn't even a close second. In the surveys that they did nationwide, people said, when we go to McDonald's, we want a healthy option. So McDonald's took that information and said, great, awesome. We're going to create this. And so they spent millions upon millions of dollars expanding their menu, and they created, which is called the McLean. Do anybody remember the McLean? But from back in the day, the McLean, it was supposed to be a healthier hamburger, healthier like chicken or fish sandwich, and salad options. McLean, okay? On top of that, they spent millions upon millions of dollars advertising it and promoting it and pushing it. And within a year, it was off the menu, gone, because it failed so miserably. Why? That's what people wanted. They filled out the survey. They said that's what they wanted. We lie. We have good intentions. We have good intentions. Who goes to McDonald's to get a healthy food? Seriously. Come on. Why do you go to McDonald's? You go to McDonald's to get a Big Mac. You go to McDonald's to get fries and a Coke. You don't go there to eat healthy. We might think we will. We might think we do. But that's not what we're doing. What? Order the salad. Yeah. Order the salad. But isn't that how we are in our lives today? We're not going to outright lie to someone, but like, oh, yeah, I'll be there to help you move. Yeah, I think I can help you move, but something else came up and I couldn't make it. Sorry. We had every intention of coming, and I didn't lie to you. But what Jesus is saying here is our yes, yes, and is our no, no. We live in a society today that, have you ever heard it called the cell phone society? Cell phone? Cell phone society, and you know what that means? It's like we won't commit to anything. We won't commit to anything. Why? Because something better might come up. Absolutely. Before this came about, you had to make plans and you had to stick to them. You saw your friend a month earlier and said, "Hey, we're going to get together on this Saturday." Okay, you got together that Saturday. Nowadays, no, you're not going to do that. Why? Because the better option might come up. Something else might come up. We laugh and we joke about the oaths that they took and the silliness that they went through to go through these things. But are we any different today? Is our yes, yes? Is our no, no? Jesus was trying to hammer the point home. It's so much more than just the words that come out of the mouth. It's what's inside our hearts. It's the honesty and the integrity that we have inside. Are we going to follow through with what we commit to? Are we going to say and do what we say we're going to say and do? So we have a few questions I want you to go through at your tables. Just take a moment. Go through those, but just, where's your integrity? Where's your honesty?